Greetings, podcast listeners, video viewers. Welcome to the 2x2. I'm here with my most frequent guest, Leslie Elliott. You know her, you love her, you admire her, you respect her. Sometimes you hate her. I don't know. I don't ever hate you. How do I introduce Leslie? I mean, go back and watch the first podcast if you want the whole history of Leslie Elliott and her nonsense stories. Leslie is a business builder. I don't think you're an entrepreneur per se. I was thinking about this. I think you're a business builder, and maybe I'm more of a business fixer. I don't know if either one of us are pure entrepreneurs. Neither one of us take big swings with a lot of risk. But anyway, she's the CEO of Poolie. She's doing, I don't know, mid 8 figures now, cleaning all the pools of Texas, green to clean. Go check it out. It's great. It's awesome. We're not here to talk about that today. Leslie, hello.
Yes. Hello.
Why did you agree to come back?
Well, because you asked, of course, but fun topic to talk about.
Because I coerced. Okay, so Leslie and I go way back. Before we go into why you're here, which is how do you grow and nurture an entrepreneurial child, I want to talk about your days selling mattresses. I don't think we did that
Oh,
on the
yes.
last pod. This was your first foray into selling and making money. Tell us about selling mattresses.
Technically, I would say my very first foray into selling and making money, I don't know if I've actually told you this, goes back to selling sodas and golf balls on the side of a golf course in 4th grade.
Okay. So maybe you are an entrepreneur. Every entrepreneur has a paper route story.
Yeah.
You were selling. Okay. What were you? What were you
Mine was
doing?
not a paper route. We lived on a golf course in California, and there was a creek behind my house, and the golf balls were constantly in the creek. And I spent a lot of my days running around, climbing trees, catching crawfish, etc. But there were always golf balls in the creek. So I started collecting them out of the creek and then cleaning them and then reselling them to the golfers. So I would stand, I figured out there was a hole that crossed over the street. So the sidewalk was public property, not actually on the golf course. So I would set up on that sidewalk and I would sell golf balls back to the golfers.
What'd you
But
charge?
then that turned, I learned quickly, I think I started at 50 cents. Then I learned the different values of different golf balls and figured out my pricing model. But then
She's a 4th grader, ladies and gentlemen.
well, you'll actually appreciate this. So I then turned it into adding sodas and candy bars. And I had a cooler that I put on the wagon and I would roll it down there and I'd sell sodas and candy bars. But the best part was this hole was between the 8th and the 9th hole on the golf course. So it was right before you got to the clubhouse. So generally speaking, people were hungry, thirsty, etc. So it was golf balls, sodas, and candy bars. The golf carts charged $1 for a soda. So I decided to charge 75 cents. But I also quickly realized that people actually wanted a quarterback. So I changed my pricing to 85 cents for sodas, and people would always tell you to keep the change. So there you go. I made a 15-cent tip on every soda. So there you go. That was my very first, if you want to go way, way back. Yeah. And this started because I wanted to go on a Washington, D.C. trip for school that was $1,000. And my parents basically said, go earn it. And I was like, okay. So I did. Now, of course, I earned every bit of that money. And then I didn't want to spend it on the trip. I didn't actually go on the trip, which is one of those things that I try to change a little bit of that with my kids. There's got to be a balance on that stuff. But yeah, we moved away from California in my sophomore year of high school, but my sisters continued to sell. And when I was too old and not cute enough to sell on the golf course, I would just set them up to sell and take a cut of their profits until we moved. So that was the very first business, if you want to go way, way back.
All right. So amongst our friends, we have this text where every quarter I share something ridiculous about Leslie. So if you're on that text, you know who you are, that this one's coming. Because, okay, so yeah, the beauty of this is you figured out to charge 85 cents because they didn't want the quarter.
Well, because
it's not just
cheaper.
about the golf. No, I totally get it.
Yeah.
That I think is something that's lost on, look, I'm a pricing and business model person. That's crazy. By the way, I'm swearing because I'm making this podcast explicit and I just want to talk how I really talk. So that is crazy. Okay. So not only did you sort through, okay, I have free supply. How did you get the candy bars and Cokes? Did your parents take you, or did you haul a wagon down to the Walgreens?
My parents would sometimes take me. They had a I remember those like burly bike trailers you used to put on your bikes? There was like an Albertsons like 2 miles away down the bike path. And so, like, if they wouldn't give me a ride, I would just like latch that onto the back of my bike and then haul it back home.
The music that I'm gonna overlay on this when we put it on social media is like that Wicked Witch of the West music that's like dun 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 dun. That's what we're doing.
Oh,
Okay.
what's funny is, you know, the little old lady that drives the cart that like sold the sodas and that like things off
Old
the back of her
lady.
cart.
Okay,
She
this golf
hated me. She absolutely
well, no
hated me because I
shit.
would take her sales, but I sat on public property, so there's nothing they could do about it. Yeah. Sometimes I'd bring the dog too because we had a golden retriever and people love
Yeah.
to say hi to a golden retriever. So it
Yeah,
was
of
like you just
course.
sucked them right in.
Of course. This is okay. So
Mhm.
then you don't even need to tell the stupid mattress story. Like, okay, so Leslie sold mattresses in college. Like that was her college job, selling mattresses. I mean, not
Yeah.
like on the street. I mean, you worked at where, like Mattress Firm or someplace?
I worked at Mattress Firm.
But you were clearing bank like in college.
Yeah. So I was part of the sales program at Baylor and they had like a national collegiate sales program anyways. I won one of the national competitions and Sealy Mattress Company was one of the sponsors of the competition. And they were trying to hire me full time after graduation. And at the time, Mattress Firm only sold Sealy mattresses. And so they were like, hey, if you want a job before you graduate, like you could go work at Mattress Firm. So that's what I did. So I quit bartending, waiting tables, and sold mattresses because I could clear like 4 times as much money, but also like you're actually selling for like 1 hour of a 10-hour day that you're sitting there. So I got all my schoolwork done too. It's the best
Yeah.
job ever.
It's a hack. Okay, so some
Yeah.
themes that are already emerging here that are going to emerge, and we're going to go through our best ideas for businesses for your kids. Themes are emerging. One, arbitrage. Clear
Yes.
time arbitrage. Time arbitrage is a big one. I think location arbitrage is another one. I think supply or input arbitrage is another one. But arbitrage, this concept of arbitrage, huge for kid businesses. Like there's a lot of things I think that kids can get away with that adults
Yeah.
cannot. Or
Add
there's a
cuteness
lot,
arbitrage to it too.
definitely, definitely. Like
Yeah.
that golf course, why did those stupid golf course guys have an old lady on the cart? Like everybody knows. You're like, come on.
Yeah.
Then, so time arbitrage. There's also like, okay, so the shit grown-ups won't do. And then pricing. This is another one. It's like a lot of these ideas that, at least the ones I'm going to tee up here in a second, to use the phrase, it's like this is like such small dollars for the amount of work that it would be really silly for an adult to use their time doing it. But for a kid, $100 on a weekend is like a pretty good paycheck.
Yeah.
Okay. So I differ a little bit. This is where like I'm a fixer. I'm like not an entrepreneur. The only stories I have is like my parents wouldn't buy me this Schwinn 10 speed. It's like this perfect blue Schwinn 10 speed. And I'm in second grade. And so my mom told me I had to get a job. So I pulled weeds. That's it. Like, but I pulled those weeds like all summer long until I had enough money. And then I bought the bike. And then when I was older, I mean, I wasn't going to go sell. Now, granted, like I came from I didn't have like my parents were giving me a check every month to live on. Like I needed beer money, not living money. And I babysat because of the time arbitrage. Like it
Oh
was
yeah.
so easy. I would show up, they'd pay me $10 an hour, which at the time, I won't date myself, at the time that was a lot of money.
A
And
lot. Yep.
right? And no, and I knew it was tax free. So it's just $10 cash in your pocket. And I'd go 3 times a week up to Bethesda. And I'd sit in someone's really nice house and eat their really good snacks and do homework while their kids did whatever their kids did.
Oh yeah. And
Um,
like date nights and New Year's was the best because like parents came home at 2 a.m. and kids were in bed at 8.
well,
You sit
I
there and
would go
watch
up on
TV and get paid for it.
yeah, I'd go up on a Friday or Saturday night. They'd order us dinner and then kids would be in bed by 7:30. They were little kids. And then the parents would be home by 11. My friends weren't even going out till midnight. So like I still got back to Georgetown and got out to the party, didn't like skip a beat on it. See, this is my thing. Like
Yep.
I'm always trying to hack and find the easy, let's call it efficient, but really like the easy way of doing things. Maybe that's why I'm not a
Huh.
real entrepreneur.
I'm
Anyway,
with you on
okay.
that one.
So let's talk about so back to this text string amongst the group of friends where I out Leslie for doing something crazy every quarter. There's a really good one a couple months ago where she's like, I have this secret hobby. And I was like, "Let- keep in mind here, you're not an ultra marathon runner like your husband is, but like you ran Ironmans, like you did like you just like go and run a marathon, like multiple marathons a year. I can't walk I mean, I could walk a 10K maybe, but like you do some nutty stuff. You had this hobby that became a side quest
Yep.
when You wanna talk about the real estate and, like, Kevin and knocking on doors? Like, to
Oh,
find
like
the
how I found my
properties?
lot? Like where I bought my
Yes.
house?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that is another good one. I mean, I would say another theme is I generally don't take no for an answer, or I don't like problems I can't solve, which has led to many of like, I'm a big but why person, but I bought my first house in this neighborhood. I'm now on the third house on the same street, as you know, which is ridiculous, but decided like needed a bigger house, wanted to stay in this neighborhood. It was actually last year of business school and was walking to the Drought House, which is like a great little old neighborhood pub, and walked past a lot in Rosedale that was empty. I was like, there's an empty lot here. And not like old house, abandoned house, empty, just like never built on lot, which you just don't see. And so I called and basically, like, at the time, now my ex-husband was like, "Leave people alone. It says do not call." I called anyways. And then they were like, "Actually, we were gonna build on it, but now we're building and yada, yada, yada. So we're getting ready to list it if you'd be interested." And like the price that they offered for it was like, I was like, I would happily pay that. And it was $1,000 less than what my like target price was. So we bought it. The fun of that is, of course, when you think you're gonna have two kids and you build a house with three bedrooms, the right amount and a guest room, and then you have twins, they could not be different from each other. We were like, I need another bedroom. So I, in a very kind of particular way, wanted to stay within a like 8 block radius of our neighborhood because I didn't want to be too close to 45th. I didn't want to be in a different school zone. And so I got on TCAT and I looked at old houses and renters and people that had slightly bigger lots than we did so that I could think about building on it. And I put 2-year-old Kevin on my hip and knocked on some doors to ask people if they'd ever thought about selling their house, or if they did, like gave them my number. And not long after that, one of them called back and bought the lot that we built this house on.
Cute baby bait. That's it. And then you figured out that this was an easy way to find cheap lots, and then you start deploying the concept of arbitrage and building master bedrooms and bathrooms onto these old Central Austin houses, and then clearing a pretty decent profit as a side
Yeah.
quest.
Yeah.
And
Real estate was
then
a
you
side quest for a while. Yep.
yeah. Okay. So this is the kind of thing that we expect of Leslie. We don't expect to grow flowers. I've got this, Leslie. Hey, I've got this like I've got this hobby, this thing I've been doing. Do you want to see? Then she starts texting me pictures of flower bouquets. I was like, what the hell is this? Grove flowers. So this is where we teach our kids. So you notice. Actually, before we talk about the flowers, like why James and not Kevin or Sierra? Why this kid? This is my question. It's like, so between the two of us, we have mothered in some capacity 7 children. And I think we know enough to know that this is not for every kid. This is not teach your kid who is not like this to be like this. This is about you see something in this kid where you think this is a good idea. So the question is, why James?
Of all of mine, James has always been kind of the like old soul or like wise beyond his years and like very kind of perceptive of things. So Sierra and Kevin are certainly competitive and like would love to make money and jobs. But James is like, I don't know, he's just kind of like in some ways like 5 years older than he should be and kind of always has been. Like even when he was like 2 or 3, he was just like very sensitive or had these insightful things where you're like, I feel like I'm talking to a 9-year-old and you're 3. So I mean, background on James is James has actually already started 2 of his own businesses, one of which was in 6th grade or 7th grade. I can't remember where it was, but I think it might have been last year. Brand new HEB opened 3 blocks down from O. Henry Middle School. And speaking of arbitrage, they usually take the bus in the morning, which drops them off at about 7:50, and the school bell doesn't ring until 8:20. So they were in this habit of like wanting to go to HEB and like get a donut before school. So James actually even built a website but started what he called SchoolDash, not DoorDash, but SchoolDash, which was he would go and buy things for his friends or people at school at HEB and double the price of it and bring it to them in the morning. So think pack of gum, $1.25, he'd sell it for $3 or $2 at school. So like he would literally sprint off of the bus to go pick things up for his friends and then like sell them during the day. And I figured it out at one point because I was like getting his lunchbox out of his backpack and he had like a case of soda in his backpack that was like half gone. And I was like, James, why do you have
That's
a 12
heavy.
pack of I know. And I was like, what is in your backpack? Like, why do you have a 12 pack of Sprite or whatever it was, Coke or whatever in your backpack? And he was like, I'm selling sodas at school. And I was like, what do you mean you're selling sodas at school? Back to, yeah, Apple Tree, perhaps. School
But you
Dash.
can't teach that. That's the thing you can't. Okay, so you see this. All right, so he's already like, how much? So what was he making? Like $20 a day?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Where
here's
was
the
the
funny
money
thing.
going?
Oh, in his Greenlight account.
Okay.
The boy's got like $2,500 in his Greenlight account from like various
Okay.
little side hustles. I mean, my bigger thing with him is he's been like last summer, he had a friend who was selling a like BMX bike for like $50. And he was like, I'm going to buy it. I'm like, you don't need a bike. And he was like, yeah, but Mason's selling it for $50 and it's worth $250. So I'm going to
Yeah.
buy it and resell it to another one of my friends. And I was like,
Making
God,
deals.
James, I mean, I hear where you're at, but also like, this is your friend. Like you can't rip off your friend. So he's just always had this like thing.
Yeah, but you could buy the bike, sell it for 250 and give the friend 50% of what you made.
Yeah, well, he's like, well, he should be doing it then, not me. If he's not smart enough to sell it for that, then I'm like,
Killer.
James, don't be an asshole. Like,
Killer.
to
I
your
love it.
point.
Okay.
Yeah. But also, I've been like, do some social things. I don't need like Patrick Bateman here either. So,
That's hilarious. Sajin for
yeah.
a while got in around this age, got into power washing.
Mm,
And he had Patel's Power Washing, which we definitely turned into a website when it was time to apply to college. But Patel's Power
nice.
Washing, he would go so his mom lived in, like, a wood builder development in the suburbs, and, and those so for those listening, Leslie and I both live in Central Austin, but we all have suburbs, they're all the same, and the driveways would have squares, right? Like, they're all made with squares.
Hmm.
So Sajin had this power washer he would use. I don't know if it was his mom's or if he borrowed it from a neighbor, but he would go and knock on the doors, and then he'd price it based on the number of squares. And he figured out, like, it takes me 10 minutes a square or 15 minutes a square, wherever it was. And he'd do 2 to 3 driveways in a week. And it would, like, when the leaves, and he got his mom on their neighborhood group to put the advertisement, like, when the leaves fall, or like in the spring where we get a lot of like that yellow pollen. So he would go
Yeah.
out and do it, but he'd only do it. This is like so freaking typical Sajin. He'd only do it at those high volume times. Like, he wasn't grinding it out during the summer when it was 112 degrees. It was like
Yeah.
he would pick 3 weekends a year, make $500, and then blow
Be
$500
done.
immediately on fake Yeezys or something crazy. But like, now that's what he does. Like, he's out living life, finding these, like, their hustles, like, hustle to get this thing, make some money, but then, Sajin blows the money. It sounds like James is doing it right. Okay, so enter Grove Flowers, and you have a URL so people can go follow along. Grove Flowers ATX,
It's growflower.com. There's no S on
groveflower.com.
the website.
Okay,
Haven't made James the domain. It was too
GROVE.
expensive. Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
so what is it?
Back up to, I mean, actually, here's another thing you probably didn't know about me. Believe it or not, I have a long line of artists in my family, including my grandmother who taught art at CU Boulder and like has a gallery in Denver, who I spent a lot of time with and was always kind of doing like painting, artsy things too. So I did actually also used to make jewelry and sell it at her shows. That was another side hustle too. But for whatever reason, like I used to love to go pick flowers and make flower arrangements. And then sometimes I would try to sell those too. So like this was another like small, not nearly as lucrative as sodas, but like old hustle. But I've always liked flower arrangements. So it's actually kind of sometimes the stress relieving hobby. It's actually, there's two things I do sometimes. I will power wash and arrange flowers. And that's generally a sign for I need a break and like chill out. But like those are some of my two favorite like stress relieving like things to do. I like to move when I'm stressed and flush it. And they also feel very accomplished. Organizing the pantry. I know you don't believe me is another one of them. I
No,
need
I
to do
don't blame you.
something like
I don't blame you
I
on
do.
that one.
No, it's just like that's it's
Her
one of the
pantry is a
few like
disaster.
it's not.
Shouldn't say it's
Uh
organized. Yeah. Okay.
but it's one of the few like if you ever feel like you have to get something done or you want to finish something and you can see progress on it. So it's power washing the pantry and flowers tend to be the things. Anyways, there's a wholesale flower shop not far from us that I've known about for years. That if you can go in as a retail customer and you can buy the flowers wholesale, but they're not arranged. So if you buy roses, they're like wrapped still on the box and paper, still have leaves on, etc. So you have to like put a little TLC into it. But they're really nice, they're pretty, and they're like not near as expensive as like HEB flowers. So I've done it for years, but my father-in-law moved into assisted living this year. And when he moved in, like we were making it super nice and clean. And so we brought him flowers, like set it up nicely. And then we had sort of this like first couple weeks, he was like not getting out as much and talking to other people, but he had met his neighbor Judy, who was very nice and had like dinner or lunch with her once first too. And then also we'd found out that one of James's friends' mom like grandma was also at the Grove. For those of you that are in Gen Alpha world, which that is what I live in right now, James and I decided that we were going on a Riz mission for Grandpa John and going to go get flowers and arrange them and not only drop them off for Grandpa John, but give them to Judy and Joanne, compliments of Grandpa John, to further open up said dialogue so Grandpa John got out of the house more. So this was, and literally we called it, Doc was like, what are you guys doing? We were like, we're on a Riz mission. We're on a Grandpa John Riz mission. So it started. So we go, we do it. And we show up at the Grove. We take the flowers to Grandpa John. And we're like, hey, we brought extras for, Judy and Joanne. My father-in-law picks those up, knocks on the neighbor's door, and hands them to her. And this woman just about cried. Was like so excited to get these flowers and just like unbelievably touched and like super, super excited. Then we go upstairs to the third floor where Joanne was, and like James knocks on the door and same thing. This woman just about fell over and like James giving her the flowers too. And also, I mean, all these little old ladies. James is blonde haired, blue eyed, and had
He's a cute
dimples.
kid.
Like, he's a
Yeah.
cute kid, like happy to hang out with James too, right? So we go and do this. And James is like, I thought it was really awesome. Like they were so happy. And truly, like it started as just like a nice, like genuinely, like there was a special thing about it. And for him, like he was actually like really reacting to how much he loved and do too. He was like, we should do this more often. Like, I wonder like if we could turn this into a business. And I was like, started thinking about it and started talking about it. And I was like, wait a second. We have one building with 250 residents in it who can afford to live here, whose kids can afford to send them to be here, who do not have a lot of outside interaction with the world. And, you start thinking about logistics and delivery and da 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 da. And if you have a large group in one spot, then could you start a flower delivery service?
You have some like micro scale here with the 250 residents who are all captive. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You've solved a pain point. You've sold the sizzle, not the steak. Like think about their faces when they lit up.
Yep. So James was like, I want to do it. And I was like, okay. So we were kind of like, it was a Friday night. We came home. We were kind of like messing around with it. And he was like, let's start a website. And I was like, okay. So glass of wine and website building with him and AI, like, we have a website. And I'm kind of like, we'll see how far he takes this. And he comes home from school on Monday with a business card he made in Canva. And he was like, I was like, when did you do this? And he was like, I was bored in one of my classes. So I used Canva to do da 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 da. And anyways, that's where it is. So I will say tomorrow's a big day. He's got a table set up, RSVP'd for social hour. He's been working his way in with the director of the facility to see if he could come in and set up a demonstration table to officially get it really going. And tomorrow is the day. So we'll see. I'll have to report back on how Grow Flowers kicks off.
Okay, so you and the vases come from, like all the supplies here are cheap. You've got your wholesale, retail hookup. We all know where your vases come from. That's like got to be the cost.
The Goodwill.
The Goodwill. Yes, you go into the Goodwill and all the free vases are there. It doesn't have to be nice.
90.
Is he delivering this on the regular now, or is like this the launch?
He's been like, we've been doing it twice a month for a couple of people, but this is like the big launch.
Okay. What is he bringing for marketing? Does he have something he's going to hand out, or like what's his plan?
Oh yes, he's made a flyer and cards, and he has mini vases, and he's going to make mini floral arrangements to hand out as samples.
Okay. What's his price?
He is going to offer twice a month for $80 and once a month for $45. Now,
Great.
He doesn't want to do weekly because he doesn't feel like he can commit to doing it weekly, which means I would be doing it weekly too, which I'm okay with. So we'll see.
All right. Go, go, go. Okay, so this is it. So time arbitrage, scale arbitrage, supplies are in place, motivated kid, sell the cute. This is all perfect. All right, great. Yeah. Now the question is, so let me recap. What have we learned here? We've learned recognize which kid this works for. We've learned the fundamentals of the business model. How does he, here's what always kind of baffled, like where Sajin petered out, right? It's like, how long do you think he really runs with this, or does it not matter?
I mean, to me, it kind of doesn't matter because I'll be honest, like, I think there's something really to it. So like, if he doesn't roll with it, I'm going to probably figure out a way to like do it anyways. Let's be honest. Might have an LLC set up, might have my tax sales permit already. Like there's something there for it. But I think it's going to be interesting because the other two kids different than James can sometimes have more stamina. And I will say like Kevin's taking an entrepreneurship class right now. And last week was like, can you tell me about that? Because I have to like pitch a business idea for entrepreneurship. And now Kevin is convinced that he can win the entrepreneurship contest next semester with Grow Flowers and like wants to be all in on it too. So we'll see. I have a feeling that the other ones will like engage. And James has solicited, to the point of cute arbitrage, James has solicited Sierra to join him tomorrow in the
Yes,
demonstration
the
table, even though
twins.
he doesn't want her to be in it full time because he thinks that she'll help draw attention to the table. And I was like, you are correct.
Yeah, she
So
will. I mean, like, twins doing this
yeah,
is even better. Okay,
yeah.
so market sizing on this. We've got the Grove. I mean, you've got senior living facilities, you've got rehab centers, like, places where there is long-term care. Like, it doesn't work in a
Uh-huh.
hospital. So let's just take our little community here in Austin. How many locations do you think there are? Like, what do we think the total TAM is for Grove Flowers?
I have started and stopped doing this like 5 times because I'm like, you need to focus on your day job and not get too down this like rabbit hole. But there are at least a dozen facilities in Austin. And then you have surrounding areas as well. They're all about the same number of residents. The best thing is because they have to be state licensed, the number of residents is public information and you can pull it.
And you can find them easily. Okay. So I have my calculator. How many did you say?
There's 12 that are about 250 in residents.
So 12 times 250 equals 3,000. What do you think the like penetration or conversion is on subscriptions?
I mean, let's say 10%.
10%? I
I
think
think
it's
you get higher.
probably
I think you get 20 or 25, but
I think you can get 20, but let's
I
just
do
call
too.
it 15. We'll split the difference. Okay, 0.15. So that's 450 people and you're going to charge
$85, $80 a month is what he's got it set at.
what's your margin?
Probably about 45%
That's $16,000 a month. Is the 45% gross margin or net? I mean, what's the net?
net. This is the classic scaling question, which is like, it's going to be one of those things if we actually like started at scale, like it will be hyper profitable when you can do it with like 1 or 2 people. And then you're going to like cross the point where you have to like step
Yeah.
into like actually having, more, in which case you need to like expand further. I think near term it'll be a small venture and we'll see.
I mean, the trick so if you wanted to scale it, the trick is finding enough. I mean, you have to start paying the kids. So finding enough kids, because the whole thing is it's got to be, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be delivered by kids,
But brownie points.
but brownie points. I mean, like heartwarming.
Yeah.
But you've got enough margin in there to pay the kids and still clear 5 grand, 6 grand.
Yep.
So that's not
It's a worthy side quest.
bad when you're 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, a worthy side quest. Okay, so we thought of a couple of other ideas here, and we're going to present them to one another and challenge each other on our ideas. Yes?
Deal. And I have a new one
Okay.
too, since we've been talking,
All right. Well, you go first.
which you made me think of. So,
You go
well,
first.
I will say the fun I had this weekend, I'm going to give you a micro idea here is you made me think about this and the time spent cleaning out a condo in Chicago. Super fun. And we're in a very weird spot with it now where we have tons of items that are worth something, but not worth enough to sell.
Yes.
So
Okay, so
think,
this is the father-in-law that is now in the Grove. This is his long-term, where he came from, and his life of belongings with his wife. Okay.
life
Yes, this is
and
a
his parents'
huge
life
fear of mine.
and his wife's parents' life. I'm talking 3 generations of stuff. As I told Lauren, well, I'll say it was exhausting. This was the second trip. And the problem with it is every time you think you find like a box of junk you can throw out, there is something in it that you can't throw out, like bottom of a box of junk, inside of a white trash bag, a Bible printed from 1642. The Roadhouse Family Bible that is printed in 1642 and a legit like collector's item and has been passed on in generations of family inside of a trash bag in the bottom of a box.
Okay. Yeah.
This is
All
my
right.
life this weekend. Anyways, after sorting through all of the stuff, we are now at a point of like, we've got a lot of stuff to sell or donate. And I'm talking like a vase that's probably worth $200 or like a
Yeah.
Borden, like remember those like Borden silver milk jugs, tin things that
That
you'd
you would,
see.
like, stick it in? It
Yeah,
doesn't
the
matter.
inmate, like, now they're like whatever, like you see them on people's kitchen counters or whatever. Like it's a tin that's worth $100. So our problem right now with it is like, what do we do with this stuff? Because it's not enough or worth enough to like hire an estate sale company to actually get rid of it because you don't make any money doing that. Effectively, they're taking all of it. It's
They're
also like from a
solving a
time,
problem. You're not making money on that at all. But they are
they're just
solving
getting
a
rid of it.
problem for you. Yeah.
They're getting rid of it. If you donate it all, candidly, like it's his tax donation. He doesn't need it. He's on fixed income. So there's no real value in like just donating it other than like doing a nice thing. But there's also probably like I found an app to scan stuff in this weekend, and there's $25,000 worth of stuff in this place.
Yeah, it's the number gets so big so quick, you're just like, "I can't give up $25,000." Material.
It's a lot. It's material, but one $50 thing after another, after another, after another. So, in the land of tech savvy kids, they could get rid of things selling an eBay store. And I was looking around my own house
Yeah,
today thinking, like, what are the things in here that I don't actually want or need anymore that are probably worth something that I wouldn't get rid of, but would I happily take $20 if the kids sold it for 40 and kept half of it?
yeah,
Do I want to maintain an eBay site or a Facebook marketplace site selling stuff constantly? No. Could
no,
a kid do that in the morning or after school over the weekend? Yes.
yeah.
So
Okay,
there's
I had
another
an
kid pitch
idea
idea.
I had an idea that's similar. Let's analyze these together. My idea was a kid managing lost and founds. So, like, if I
Mm,
walk into Joe's school, there is a coat rack with, this point in the year, 50 sweatshirts, 16 water bottles, and coats. I don't know why we have coats. It's barely like the kids forget them because it's never cold here. Now, is there value in those things? Like, probably not. But if you expand this idea of managing lost and founds to churches, hospitals, I knew this guy at BCG whose brother lived in Las Vegas, and he was a dentist, but he had this company called like Charger King or something, and what he would do is go collect he would go to Lost and Founds and he would collect the phone chargers, and then he would go back to the hotel's concierge and sell them at like $5 a pop, but he'd sell 50 of them because people are always forgetting their phone chargers, and then the concierge is like, "Well, what charger do you want?" Same concept. Like within all of these
genius.
things, right? It's like $10, but every once in a while you're going to find a Pokemon card worth 100. Boom.
Genius.
Same concept. What do the kids let's break it down. We know the problem. The problem is arbitrage, not singularly the effort to do all these things isn't worth the time. And collectively, the effort is too great for any adult to do it. Yet the total upside from doing it is too great to ignore.
Yep.
Okay. So what would the kid actually do in this case?
I mean, it's simple as like the app I found this weekend. You can snap a picture of anything and it'll tell you what it is, which was like super cool because like I looking at some of this stuff would have thrown out a million things that were actually like worth something. But I mean, kid in this case would take good pictures on their phone. They're better at taking pictures than I am at this point, anyways. And like camera angles, et cetera. You create the postings and like monitor and sell.
I think they've got to know, they also have to have all the apps. Like they have to know which
Yeah.
specialty marketplaces. So whatever
Yep.
one you found, plus Poshmark, plus maybe the Real Real, these are the ones that I use. By the way, I cleaned out my closet last year and put it all in a box and like stuffed it under a cabinet in our house. And then the Real Real somehow found me. And the lady came to my house, and it's probably worth $500, just like stuff I had bought over the years, like, dresses and
She
whatnot.
take it?
Yeah, she took it. It's all for sale on the Real Real. But like knowing where these places are, I think, because I bet there's places too for like lawn equipment or car
Hmm.
stuff or whatever that's different, right? But knowing where to put them. And then okay, so here's the other thing the kid has to do. They have to be able to get the stuff to the person who buys it. So in some cases, that's aggregated by the marketplace. Like the Real Real, I send it all to the Real Real and they do the dirty
Yeah.
work. But like eBay, you'd have to do the sending. So you have to be able to get the thing to the post office.
Yeah. And that's where I think, like, in this one, like, I did find somewhere probably like real equivalent where you can like mail your stuff off to. But again, it's like, it's not even worth it because it's like, the time
Yeah.
spent cost, anyways. But, that's where I think you'd be smart about it. And if you're like, you get the boxes prepaid once or twice, like, you can schedule them for pickup or drop them off.
Oh,
Like,
you can
easy
schedule it
ways
for
to manage
pickup
that.
now. See, I don't even know that. And then how much do you think so what do you think that you make? So let's say your stuff is worth $25,000, or like you're doing a clean out of an estate? What's the monetization? Like, how does that break down into what you would make, what the maybe you have to pay for the stuff to the seller? Like, they're not just gonna give you all that for free.
I mean, this is the thing is like what I'm looking at is like, if I'm going to go deal with it as me, I'm going to make nothing basically. Or if we had an estate sale, maybe walk away with $200. You hand that stuff over to the kids. If they made, if they took half of it or three-quarters of it, you'd still do better than an estate sale or like other things in that situation. So like it's the convenience factor of like, you're not going to sell like, I mean, it's dumb, like dumb example. I found a vase like this. This is not a real vase, but like a vase like this that was gold with horrendous flowers on it, which was tucked in with the shitty flower vases that you get from 1-800-Flowers. And I almost just threw it out. It's worth $300. Yeah. It's some like mint patinaed old glass or whatever. But like point is like there's stuff like this all over my house too that like I would get rid of, like, but I don't have the patience to deal with it. Right.
Yeah.
So like if a kid made 15 or $20, that's 2 hours of their labor rate. Right. But what is that in ours?
So the monetization is simple here. It's have the kid keep track of everything that you give the kid all the stuff. The kid keeps track of everything they make, and then they give you a piece of it back. If it's 50% or even
Yeah.
25%, maybe
Yeah.
40% goes back to you. Who knows? But that in and of itself is like, okay, fine. I made 7 grand. That's worth it. You feel good about the kid. Yeah. And then getting
And you're
customer
happy to get rid of something too.
Yeah. Getting customers here is easy if you have parents who are connected. It's like, I feel like some of the stuff, if you're a
Mhm.
kid, right, you have to be able to know who is having the estate and the clean out. And that's like a once in a lifetime activity. That's a little bit challenging. Whereas like the lost and found side, I think is easy. You just walk around everybody and ask them. But I feel like the upside there is like practically nothing. You'd have to charge to manage the lost and found, I think, if you're going to do it that
Mhm.
way. It's like, but then who would pay you? Like, the school's not gonna pay you, the church isn't gonna pay you because they're just gonna go give it to Goodwill anyway at the end of the day.
I'm like, I was seeing what James would say in that idea, and this is why, like, I do have to steer him on proper rails, is he would just steal the lost and found and resell it if he thought he could. He'd just come home with a jacket every day and be like, "It was all I like. There's no name tag in it."
Hustler.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's
He
idea
needs some
1.
steering.
Alright, here's my, which idea do I wanna give you first? Okay, I'm gonna give you the snack cart idea, okay? The snack master. So, moms and dads go to Costco and fill their pantries with snacks and other foodstuffs, but let's focus on the snacks. When you have multiple children, you need a lot of snacks in your pantry. Your kids, I find many times when what I thought I wanted to save money with my first round of bonus children, I would buy the big bags of snacks and then they get like half eaten. Or they go through an entire bag of chips a day and then like think that I'm gonna buy a bag of chips a day. So I relented and started buying snack packs, which I thought were wasteful and too expensive, but then I figured out why they exist. Problem is kids get bored of snacks. So if you go to Costco and you like buy them in bulk, on their fifth bag of Teddy Grahams, they don't want to eat the other 25 bags.
Mhm.
They want some variety. So imagine a world where you had a dedicated bin or cart in your pantry where a teenager came over and restocked that cart or bin in your pantry with new and exciting snacks every week. And they just charged you a flat rate. Now I don't have to have the problem of my snacks going stale. Two, I also don't have to carry that shit out of Costco, right? Like, that's the problem. It's like, I hate Costco. I don't go to Costco, just like for the record, Herschel goes. But I think, especially for summers, like maybe not during the school year, do you need it? But like during the summer, this is kind of a cool thing that like I can imagine the rolling wood mom, the upper class mom in the $2 to $5 million house saying, all right, I'll pay $50 a week for my snack cart. Then on the supply side, you can buy this, you don't have to buy them retail, just like your flowers
True.
you start buying them wholesale. And if you get enough scale of enough houses, it makes enough sense for a parent to give you a little stacked rack in your garage, and you can store your snacks there. And then once a week, you do your rounds, and it's a recurring revenue model. Snack carts.
Well, first of all, you just need to use Instacart for Costco. I hate Costco too, but I love Costco at
We
the
use
same time.
Instacart.
So,
I use Instacart for the weekly stuff, but like there's the buy in bulk. Instacart like really marks it up. It's nuts.
yeah, but like, I mean, they do. And also, the amount of things that I don't buy because I didn't go in person and I used Instacart is
Mm.
less than the markup, and I'm gonna have to carry it to my front step. I like it. I will tell you, in my unorganized pantry, I actually have one bin that is all of the random snacks that I keep the Costco ones on the top shelf that the kids can't reach, and I throw 5 or 10 packs of random things in the bin that they can reach. So there is rotating snacks. So I do some version of this. I think the challenge would be, how do you deal with the gluten-free, dairy-free
You have an upgrade.
cookies? Yeah, okay.
You clearly have like look, we are the healthy, no food dye family. That's great for you. We have the $85 a week pack or whatever it is, and it's half the snacks. That's a margin play for sure. Yes, I love it. The all
For
vegan,
sure.
whatever. Yeah, because now you're having to buy chomps. Chomps are
$5 a
$20.
piece.
Yeah, they're $20 a bag for the chomplings. So
Yeah.
if you're buying at wholesale, like you're doing a selection of chomps, nuts, you could bring apples, you could do drinks if they wanted upgraded drinks. I feel like the merchandiser in me is like, okay, there's an offer stack here. And it's cute,
And
right? Like, I think you have to have something cute, like cute bins with cute labels, something that like post sorority moms can really like get excited about. Let's go make
why
money off of
why
them.
why not add pre-packed lunches? My least favorite thing, packing lunches.
Can I give you the next idea? And then we'll go back to you.
You can.
Okay. Quiet hour jobs. It relates to packed lunches. So this is deconstructing a nanny or house manager. AKA, it's your kids are a pain in the ass when you ask them to do chores and you're sick of yelling at them, but you don't wanna do it. You work, you both work. You don't wanna have to do everything, and also it just gets too expensive to have all the time household help once your kids are older.
Yep.
So enter the quiet hours job. Many kids get up early, 5 in the morning to be at school for sports practice, but many do not. And they have time before school when they could creep into your house like little Christmas mice and complete 20 to 30 minutes of tasks that would make you as the grown-up's life exponentially better, such as unloading the dishwasher, taking out the trash, making sure that all of the areas that are stocked, such as dog food, snack bins, if
Mm,
you don't have the snack person, laundry detergent, folding clothes is another job here, but jobs that you could do while other people are asleep. There's also maybe a babysitting aspect of this too, but I think this is about tasks, okay? Watering the
yep,
plants, all of these jobs, packing the lunches, which is where I got this idea. So a kid can come in and do this. They could choose between 2 to 4 days a week. They could probably accomplish, I mean, you could probably do one house, but if you're really enterprising, maybe you could do 2 or 3 houses. And I think, what could you charge? What would I pay for this if I didn't? I mean, I'd pay if they did all of those things. I mean, I'd feel really good about $40 a week, but I would probably pay 60.
easy, easy. I
Where does
think
this go
I
wrong?
was trying to think through the, like, and I don't know. See, this is and I don't wanna say kids these days, but, like, I halfway wonder, I think about my own kids, paying them to do that,
They won't, no, you couldn't
and
do it for your own kids.
no, but I'm trying to think, if they would do it for someone else, what they would charge to do it.
Like, what's it worth to them?
Yeah, because even in the days they don't have early morning sports, try getting them out of bed early.
I
Like,
mean,
you're
they could
you're in
do it,
that hour
it could
after
easily
school.
be done after school.
Yeah, after school for sure. The morning hour, I feel like, be challenging. So what do they make? 15, 20 an hour?
Well, no,
Like,
if
what
they're
does a kid
coming
get
to
paid these days? 4 times a week?
well, what do you pay a high school babysitter? Okay, so I for a babysitter that's in high school, we'd probably pay 15 to $17 an hour.
Okay.
For a college babysitter, we'll pay
20?
25, like 25 if it's if it's an in-demand day, like game day or something, like you have to
Yeah.
pay more.
Yeah.
Like my babysitter that comes every day, we pay her 25, but she picks Joe up from school. She takes him
Yeah.
places, like she uses her cards. That's
Yep.
different. So $15 is probably realistic. So 15 times, this is what I was thinking, like $60 a week for 4 days a
4
week,
days.
and they're there for half an hour. Like, that's pretty good. I think the trick to this
Yep.
one is you've gotta get multiple, as the business owner, the kid, you've gotta have multiple houses within, like, a 3-block radius. So you don't
I was just
waste
thinking the same thing.
time.
You gotta have
If
some
you're wasting
density.
time going house to house to
Yep.
house, and now this takes, like, 3 hours, that is not worth it. But
4 hours. Yep.
if you're all within walking distance, then you could make, $200 a week just folding
Yep.
laundry with
You need a
your
couple houses,
AirPods.
walking distance.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
I like it.
The sale on this one is good because you could build the babysitters club.
100%.
And I think kids don't tap into mom groups, but you tap into a mom group, and the mom group is like, "We have these quiet helpers." Then, "Yeah, well,
Yes.
yeah, we've got one." You text one kid, and one kid is organizing it. You're good.
Well, and it is hitting that need of like, you need someone for half an hour, 45 minutes to help. You don't need to hire someone for 3 or 4 hours. You're not going to get
No.
a qualified babysitter to come for 45 minutes. It's not worth their time. So, like, you need a couple of jobs and like that equals a couple of hours, but it's shared.
Yeah. Uh,
But
okay, next idea.
how about the continuing issue, at least in my household with kids, of hobbies changing constantly over and over and over and over again, but not wanting to get rid of things that might come back or they might use in 6 months or 12 months or next season? I'm thinking clarinets, trombones, summer camp trunks,
Roller
specific
skates.
bands. Yeah, you
A
name it,
DVD of Cool Runnings.
whatever it is. But the rental market for kids items, kids renting out their things that they don't need or they need for specific time periods that are not going to need again. I mean, my kids did the Texas summer camp thing for a while where you have to do the camp trunk and then did not. But it's like, what do you do with these enormous camp trucks? I think we kept them for 2 years before we decided to get rid of them because if they went the next year, you're rebuying all this like event specific stuff that's hundreds of dollars and adds up.
Yes. Okay, so this is a local riff on Play It Again Sports, but with an expanded inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Run rental. So is the idea that they would rent out their own stuff? Like, how does or is the idea that they're collecting stuff from friends? Like, what's the operational model?
I mean, I think you rent out your own stuff. You try to turn it into kind of a marketplace of stuff, but obviously you would want to get, enough scale there so that it was worth people going to see what you had. So I think the idea would be, it's like the Turo for kids equipment. Like you're effectively renting out your own car, you're renting out your own stuff, but there's a big enough supply that you can go on the site and, get what you're getting.
And so on the kid side that's renting this stuff, this makes sense because you're putting something that costs you nothing because it costs your parents something to use
Yep.
to make money. On the other side, why does a kid want to rent this? Who's like, is the market the parent or the kid? It's got to be the parent.
I think
Kid wants
the
their own
market's
new
the parent.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, market's the parent. But and also think of it for like hobbies that your kid might want to try but not stick with. So instead of having to buy it new, like you could use it for some period of time and see if they're actually going to do the sport or thing. Like God knows we had 3 baseball bags to get rid of at one point from
Yeah.
the 2 seasons.
So maybe too maybe the real market then is the kid activity director or kid activity owner. Like Joe started playing baseball. All the kids need baseball gloves. That's cool. I'm going to buy him
Hmm.
a baseball glove. He's going to use it 10 times. And then,
Yep,
right?
and a
But,
bat and a helmet
and a
and a
bat
baseball
and
backpack.
all that nonsense.
Hmm.
But wouldn't it be nice if the baseball coach said, okay, for extra $15, if you need to rent our stuff, like going to the roller rink, then you can rent the
Yeah,
stuff. And then the problem is then the kid's got a lot of like
you could do a lease to buy on it
coordination.
too, or a sell on it too.
A similar idea, but it was with neighborhood supplies. So
Hmm.
if you had a neighborhood inventory of things that every person needs like once every 2 years. So like every 2 years you need 2 folding tables and 12 folding chairs, or you need like, and I'm thinking like party stuff, but it could be lawn stuff, lawn darts. It could also include kid stuff. But if you had this like
Yep.
inventory of things for the neighborhood, then too, it kind of solves your market problem because you can advertise in all of the HOA or in whatever app your neighborhood uses on Facebook. You could put flyers on people's doors, but you could be known as like the go-to kid. So when someone needed something, they'd say, "Oh, I'm having a garage sale next week. I need a clothing rack." And
Yep.
then the kid delivers it and picks it up. But it could work for both things.
I agree. I mean, even think about, I mean, to your point on parties, like, I've seen them as super cute, like sleepover tents that parents
Oh
have
yeah.
bought and set up
Oh
for
my
when they
God.
have six kids, it's like all that kind of crap. Like,
Yeah, but we're talking like everyday items you need once every 2 years. Like that's where you draw the
mhm,
line. And then you get around your market problem. Yeah, because like if someone rented $40 worth of stuff, first of all, you get all the stuff for free because this is the kind of thing that people are like, oh, it's free for whoever wants it. It's on my lawn. And
yep,
then every time someone rents something, let's say it's $40 to $100 worth of stuff. And all you had to do is just go pick it up and bring it back. That's not a bad summer business.
it's not.
All
No, and
right.
you create a buy it option and then it gets out of your house, which as a parent, I would be happy if the kids got some of that crap out of the house.
That's true. You could also sell some of the stuff. Yeah. Okay. All right. I like it. Uh, all right. This was great. Do you have any other ideas that you're going to feel horrible and not be able to sleep unless you express them?
No, I don't know what the next thing I haven't told you about myself is, but should probably stop before I reveal something else I haven't told you. So I have a
Save
new
it till next
surprise.
quarter, please. All right. I have more of these ideas. Maybe we'll get back together in the next quarter and we'll do this again. All right, Leslie Elliott, CEO of Poolie, strange, wild, and wonderful friend. Thank you for joining us on the 2 by 2 Until next time, I bid you
Of
adieu.
course. See you later. Thanks for having me.